Have we not all one Father? Hath not one God created us? Why do we deal treacherously every man against his brother, by profaning the covenant of our fathers? Judah hath dealt treacherously, and an abomination is committed in Israel and in Jerusalem. For Judah hath profaned the holiness of the Lord which he loved, and hath married the daughter of a strange god. Malachi 2:10-11. Have we not all one Father? One imagination from which all forms spring? This is the rock beneath your feet. Yet Judah, Israel, you and I, have turned aside, profaning that covenant by marrying a strange god. What is this strange god? It is every dried mortar of the past, every doubt, every borrowed theory, every outer cause you clutch, thinking it will shore up your life. You have dug 40 feet deep, your imagination excavated, and began to fill that void with stones of memory, with cement of old reasoning. The master builder comes and says, "Remove it, you cannot add to the foundation." For there is no other foundation than imagination, Christ in you. To deal treacherously against your brother is simply to profane this oneness. To believe two forces govern your life, two gods demand loyalty. Yet hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one. All that divides you, jealousy, judgment, inherited fear, is the daughter of a strange god. You plaster it in and expect solidity, but faith, pure, unbroken faith, cannot rest upon such mortar. Instead, walk the smooth highway Isaiah spoke of, where the redeemed come with everlasting joy. Refuse all alien causations. Marry only your imagination, love and truth interwoven in seamless purple. This is the covenant, one Father, one promise, one creative power. When you confide in a stranger God's statistics, probability, second-hand wisdom, you break that union and profane the holiness you loved. Repent by turning within. Tear away the old cement, surrender every doubt. Stand upon that rock, your own human imagination, and build with gold and precious stones of faith. Then all Israel, even Judah, will recognize the one God who begot you, the imagination sustaining every universe, every brother, every moment yet to be revealed. Malachi 2:10-11 exposes two inner currents of consciousness. First, the truth of one Father speaks to our native state of unity, an unbroken awareness that all life springs from a single divine imagination. Second, dealing treacherously by profaning the covenant describes the schism of consciousness when we turn away from that unity. In practical terms, it's the moment you harbor judgment, fear or doubt about another or about yourself, and thus marry the daughter of a strange god, that is, entertain beliefs contrary to your inherent oneness. Every external event is the harvest of an imaginal seed. When you imagine separation sowing treachery toward your brother, another aspect of yourself or another person, you have violated the covenant that your will and feeling make with the one creative principle. In Neville's language, there is no other foundation than divine imagination. To profane the holiness of the Lord is simply to misapply your creative power to thoughts of lack, fear, or conflict. Those thoughts then mature into outer forms that reflect disunity. As you begin to settle into this teaching, recognize the sovereign gift you carry within, the freedom to choose which God you serve, whether the God of fear that divides or the God of love that unites. When you truly acknowledge that one God created us all, you open yourself to the shared power of imagination that flows through every being. In that moment of recognition, you claim the authority to dissolve any false beliefs that have taken root in your mind and to renew your faith in this single creative source. Remember, you are never merely a plaything of circumstance. Instead, by virtue of your inner assumptions, you become the author of every experience you will ever know. Begin by opening your awareness to every instant you feel separate, critical, or afraid, gently observing these moments without judgment. As soon as you notice a thought of lack or disunity, consciously release it. For example, forgiving yourself for believing in scarcity, and allow that burden to dissolve. Then anchor yourself in the truth of oneness, feeling deeply that there is but one life, one mind, one love, and dwell in that expansive reality as your guiding principle. As you move through each morning and evening, imagine vivid scenes of unity, friends reconciling, teams celebrating shared success, and communities offering mutual support. Make this renewal a sacred covenant with your own divine essence, returning always to your assumed state of harmony whenever the mind drifts. In this way, the ancient warning of Malachi becomes a living practice. You no longer profane your sacred agreement with imagination, but consecrate your creative power to the one Father, the singular source of all, and watch as your world realigns itself in unity and love.